Hello friends, welcome to GEM Academy. Now what we are going to see is some important questions in ABM previous year questions, and also it will be useful for the last minute revision. First question is here nominal GDP and GDP deflator. All these three are given. Year 2018 to 19 and nominal GDP is 2500 and GDP deflator is 120. And for the year 2019 to 20, the nominal GDP is 3200 and GDP deflator is 145. Answer the following questions based on the above information. A GDP deflator on 17 to 18 is 100, then real GDP of 19 to 20. Here it's given GDP deflator on 17 to 18. But what asked is the real GDP of 2019 to 20 it's asked. So this one we need to consider 2019 to 20 nominal GDP is 3200 and GDP deflator is 145. This data 2017 to 18 is 100. This is given to confuse us. This is not relevant to our problem, so we need not consider this one. Then we have to consider these two. The formula is GDP deflator is equal to nominal GDP divided by real GDP into 100. Real GDP for the year 2019 to 20. So real GDP is nominal GDP divided by GDP deflator into 100. Nominal GDP is 3200. It's given, and real GDP is and GDP deflator is 145. So by solving this, I am getting real GDP for the year 2019 to 20 is 2207. And second question. If GDP deflator in 2017 to 18 is 100, then real GDP of 2018 to 90 is, this is irrelevant to our problem. 17 to 18 is 100. This is irrelevant to our problem. So we need not consider this data. And the next one, the real GDP of 2018 to 19, they have asked, the formula is the same. GDP deflator is nominal GDP divided by real GDP into 100. So real GDP for the year 18 to 19 is nominal GDP is 2500 and GDP deflator is 120 into 100. So real GDP for the year 2018 to 90 is 2083. This is our solution. And next one, growth rate of real GDP from 2018 to 19 and 2019 to 20 is growth rate of GDP. Usually the growth rate is defined as new minus volt divided by volt. This is a formula for all the growth rates. This is a formula. Growth rate of real GDP or nominal GDP or any other thing, the growth rate is the same formula. Growth rate of real GDP is new real GDP divided by old real GDP divided by old real GDP. New minus volt divided by volt into 100. Real GDP for the year 2018 to 90 is 2083. We have found this. And real GDP for the year 2019 to 20 is 2207. This is also we have found it. And growth rate is 18 to 19. This is a old one. And 2207 is a new one. So 2207 minus 2083 divided by 2083 into 100. So growth rate is 5.95%. So the next one, inflation rate in the 2019 in relation to 2018 to 19 is inflation rate. Inflation rate is also the same formula, new minus volt divided by volt is the formula. So inflation rate is new GDP deflator is 145 and GDP deflator volt is 120 divided by volt GDP is 120. So 145 minus 120 divided by 120 into 100. So inflation rate is 20.83. Inflation is GDP deflator is nothing but the inflation, that is the difference between the old GDP minus and the new GDP. Next problem, next question. Dash means a higher responsibility. It gives a more decision making, planning and controlling power. This is job enrichment. That is job enrichment means the same job they are doing, but some more responsibilities are added to this. This is called a job enrichment. Dash means a higher responsibility. By job enrichment, for the same person they are giving higher responsibility. It gives a more decision making and planning and controlling power. Next one, sometimes a role document finds that there are too many exceptions in a new role. This is called a role expectations conflict. That is, a manager has to perform a lot of jobs. He has to control these jobs. He has to convince the customers, and he has to go for the marketing, and also he has to manage the day-to-day works. In a single role, he has to his expectation is lot. He has to perform lot of duties. So this is called Role expectation conflict. Next one, stock audit or receivable audit is done. First option, to cross-check the reliability of stock statement submitted by the borrower, to cross-check the reliability of receivable statement submitted by the borrower, to cross-check from the balance sheet figure. So our option is all the three is done for all the three purposes. To cross-check the reliability of stock statement submitted by the borrower, stock audit or receivables audit is done. To cross-check the reliability of stock statement submitted by the borrower, to cross-check the reliability of receivables statement submitted by the borrower, to cross-check from the balance sheet figure. All these things has to be checked in the stock statement. Next one, J.M. Keynes explained the interest rate purely in terms of which of the following, that is monetary phenomena. He is defining interest rate to be a purely monetary phenomenon. Next one, for external credit rating, banks depend on rating agencies. We know very well we are taking the CIBIL score for all the borrowers. So, we are depending on only the rating agencies. Next, the ratio between nominal GDP and money supply is called velocity of money. Next question. X has been investing rupees 5,000 every year at year end at 5% for 5 years. How much will he get at the end of 5 years? Hint also given. This is exam question, friends. All the questions are exam questions. Hint is also given. Calculate the future value of an ordinary annuity. So we need not consider any other thing. They have directly given that as a future value of ordinary annuity. So future value of ordinary annuity, we can directly apply this formula. Future value of ordinary annuity is A divided by R 1 plus R whole power n minus 1. This is the formula. Then we are substituting. A is the annuity. A has been investing 5,000 every year. Every year he is investing rupees 5,000. So this is A, annuity. Annuity is 5,000. Rate of interest is 5%. N is 5 years. How much he will get at the end of 5 years? So future value of ordinary annuity, by substituting I am getting by substituting and solving I am getting the value 27,628.15. Next one, a company has net worth of rupees 5 lakh, term liabilities are at 10 lakh, fixed assets worth 16 lakh and current assets are rupees 25 lakh. There is no intangible assets or the non-current assets. Calculate its net working capital. We need to find the net working capital. So net worth, the net worth of the borrower is a capital plus reserves. Capital is a kind of liability. Net worth of the borrower is capital plus reserves. So we know this formula. Capital is a kind of liability. Capital is owner's liability. So liability is 5 lakhs. Net worth, a company has net worth of rupees 5 lakh. Net worth is capital plus reserve. So capital is a kind of liability. So liability is 5 lakh. Next one, total liabilities. Term liabilities are 10 lakh. So 10 plus 5 is 15 lakh. Next one, assets. We are considering about the assets. Assets is 16 plus current assets is 25 lakh. So by adding this two, I am getting the value 41 lakh. 25 plus 16 lakh is 41 lakh. But we know very well that assets should be equal to liabilities. So this liabilities should be 41 lakh, but it is 15 lakh. So other are current liability. What left here is only the current liability. So liabilities is 41 lakh. Assets are 41 lakh. So liabilities should be 41 lakh. So current liability is 41 minus 15 is 16 lakh. Current liability is 16 lakh and current assets is 15. Net working capital, we all know the formula. Net working capital is current asset minus liability. Current asset is 15 and current liability is 16. So net working capital is minus 1 lakh. This is our solution. Next one, cash budget method of assessment is more suitable for the business enterprises which have seasonal operations. So for seasonal operations, that is like education institutions, the cash budget method is applicable. Next one, market demand curve obey the law of downward sloping of demand. Supply curve it depends on a law of diminishing return. Next one, employee between such as daydreaming, forgetfulness, absenteeism, tardiness, sabotage, etc. can be analyzed by way of psychoanalytical theory. Next one, debt to equity ratio position of the firm is solvency. Denotes debt to equity denotes the position of the firm in solvency. Next one, project loans can be given by the bank to any business entity. Next one, which of the following is not an internal factor affecting the credit risk? First one, excessive lending to cyclical industries, low quality of credit appraisal and monitoring, deficiencies in the loan policy of the bank. Next one, protectionist policies of other countries. Our option is D. All the three affects the credit risk. All the three, that is excessive lending to cyclical industries, low quality of credit appraisal and monitoring, deficiencies in the loan policy of the bank. All these three affects the internal factor of the credit risk. But protectionist policies of other countries does not affect. Our question is does not affect, not an internal factor. And next question. What is the most popular and prevalent means to gather feedback from employees? That is climate survey. Which of the following is not a component of a marginal cost of funds based lending rate, which is an internal benchmark? The option is a marginal cost of funds. Next one, consumer price index measures prices at retail level. Adam Smith defined economics as study of wealth. Next is 5,000 equity shares, 10 lakh each. A company has liabilities. These are the liabilities. 5,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. The total amount is 5,000 into 10 is 5 lakh. And 8% 2,000 preference shares of rupees 100 each. That is 2,000 into 100 is 2 lakh. Next 9% 4,000 debentures of rupees 100 each. 4,000 into 100 is 4 lakh. Reserves is 3 lakh and creditors 1,50,000 and bank overdraft 50,000. Next assets, land and building 5 lakh, plant and machinery 6 lakh, debtors 2 lakh, stock 2 lakh 40,000 and cash and bank 55,000, prepaid expenses 5,000. Find the proprietary ratio. Proprietary ratio formula is proprietor's fund divided by total tangible assets. Next one, how to find the proprietor's fund. The formula is equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus. Equity share capital is 5 lakh and preference share capital is 2 lakh. Preference share capital, that is 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 2 lakh. And reserves and surplus, they are 3 lakh. So altogether we are getting proprietor's fund as 10 lakh. Next, total tangible assets 5 lakh plus 6 lakh plus 2 lakh plus 2 lakh 40,000 plus 55,000 plus 5,000. I am adding all this 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 2 lakh, 2 lakh 40,000, 55,000 and 5,000. All this I am adding. So total tangible assets is 16 lakh. So proprietor's ratio is proprietor's fund divided by total tangible assets. So proprietor's fund is 10 lakh and total tangible assets is 16 lakh. So 16 divided by 16 we are getting 0.625:1. Next one, calculate the working capital limit of an MSE borrower under NOIA committee turnover method if the amount of working capital is rupees 100 lakh and available margin with the borrower is rupees 10 lakh. 100, our options are 100 lakh, 80 lakh, no limit and 90 lakh. Here's capital limit of an MSE borrower under NOIA committee turnover method if the amount of working capital is 100 lakh. Amount of working capital given is 100 lakh. So for a quarter he has got 100 lakh. So for the whole year, for annual his turnover is 400 lakh. 400 lakh is the turnover. I am dividing it into 4. So 100 for the first quarter his limit is 100 and for the second quarter 100 and third quarter 100. Fourth quarter is also 100. Under NOIA committee method, 20% of the funds will be funded by the bank and 5% should be from the proprietor. So among this 100 lakhs, 80 lakh the bank can fund and 20 lakhs, that is 5%, it is to be backed by the proprietor. So this is for the first quarter, and for the second quarter also the same thing. Among this 100 lakh, 80 lakh is funded by the bank and 20 lakhs is funded by the proprietor. And third one is also among this 100 lakh, 80 lakh is funded by the bank and 20 lakhs is by the proprietor. For the fourth quarter also among the 100 lakh, 80 lakh is provided by the bank and 20 lakhs is by the proprietor. The next one, the market clearing price denotes that our option is all supply and demand orders are satisfied and banks are cleared of the orders. Market clearing price means demand and supply should be equal. That is a equilibrium point. All supply and demand orders are satisfied and books are cleared of the debts. Next one, 10% of the interest rate, 10% annual interest rate if there is a semi-annual compounding works out to an effective interest rate of for effective interest rate, the formula is 1 plus nominal rate divided by number of compounding period, the whole power number of compounding periods. 1 plus 10%, nominal rate is 10% divided by number of compounding period. Then if there is a semi-annual means yearly 2 times it is compounding. So 10% divided by 2, the whole power 2 minus 1. This is a formula. So by solving this, I am getting effective interest rate is 10.25%. Next one, the RBI can increase the money supply in the market by selling. First option is selling government securities. The second option, buying government securities. Third option, borrowing money from commercial banks. And fourth option is none of the above. Our answer is buying government securities. The RBI can increase the money supply in the market by buying government securities. Next question, which of the following is not a characteristics of a business cycle? It shows a wave-like movement. It is synchronic. It is linear. Have recurring cyclical fluctuations. First option is it shows wave-like movement. Business cycle will be like this. Like wave-like movement, it will be. It is synchronic. That is, if one industry affects, then another industry will also be getting affected. So it is synchronic. Next one, having recurring cyclical fluctuation. It is recurring. The cyclical fluctuation is recurring. That is repeatedly it's happening. So our option is it is linear. Linear is a wrong one. Linear means a straight line. It's not straight line. This is wave-like movement. And our next question, repayment of entire loan principal at the end of the loan period is called balloon payment. No EMI is paid. At the end of the period we are paying. This is nothing but gold loan. For jewel loan, no EMI is fixed. It is balloon payment. Next one, money has a time variable is shown which of the following concept. Money has time value. The value of time value is added to a money. This is shown in market value, face value, present value, B and C. This is our options. The present value and future value concepts in which money has some definite time value. Next one, which one is a force behind the supply curve? First one is cost of production, government policies, technological advances, all the above. All these things affects the supply curve. Cost of production affects the supply curve. Government policies affect the supply curve. Technological advances affects the supply curve. So all the above is our answer. Next one, type B personality does not affect the following. Does several things at the same time, feels guilty when relaxing, gets irritated on minor mistakes. Our option is all these three. Type A personality. He is doing everything in a prompt way. But type B personality, he does several things at one time, feels guilty when relaxed, get irritated on minor mistakes. Next one, narrow money consists of a currency with the public, demand deposits, other deposits with the RBI. This is direct question, friends. And next one, capital receipts, net of borrowings 95, revenue expenditure is 100, interest payments is 10, revenue receipts 80, capital expenditure 110. Find out the revenue deficit. The formula for revenue deficit is revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. For deficit, the formula is expenditure minus receipts. For revenue deficit, the formula is revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Revenue expenditure is 100 and receipts is 80. So revenue deficit. So revenue deficit is 20. Next one, what is fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is revenue expenditure plus capital expenditure minus revenue receipts plus capital receipt net of borrowings. Revenue expenditure plus capital expenditure 100 plus 110. Next, revenue receipt is 80 and capital receipt net of borrowings is 95. So by solving this, I am getting the value fiscal deficit to be 35. Next one, primary deficit fund. What is primary deficit fund? For the primary deficit, the formula is fiscal deficit minus interest payment. Fiscal deficit is 35, interest payment is 10. So altogether, I am getting primary deficit as 25. These are all important questions, friends. Thank you for watching this video and kindly subscribe to this channel.